Alright, what's going on, guys? Let's try back again here to bring another MMA related video. So this one's going to be, my last video I talked about was GSP being injured and being out for pretty much a year, pretty much. So this is going to be for the interim title. So this is a great matchup in place of GSP being able to face Nick Diaz. We're going to get to see the guy who is next in line, which is Carlos Condit. He's got an amazing record. He's been winning for years. He's on a huge win streak. And he's going to be facing Nick Diaz. So how's this fight going to go? And let's break it down. This is going to be a prediction video. So, Nick Diaz obviously is going to be really pissed again. But at least he's going to get an interim title if he beats Condit. But definitely, he's going to be pissed because George is out. And I guarantee he's going to be saying, George wasn't injured, George was scared, and all this stuff. You know how Nick Diaz is, Stockton language and all that shit. So, yeah, I mean, you guys saw Diaz after his last fight, after fighting BJ. He was absolutely pumped. And he looked amazing against BJ Penn. I mean, if BJ Penn got worked like that by Nick Diaz, do you really think Carlos Condit's going to be able to do much better? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Carlos Condit he is in really good shape, though. He is in really, really good shape. So, he may be able to stay in there because he's kind of a skinnier guy. He's a leaner guy. He's not very muscular like GSP. He doesn't gas like BJ's been known to gas. Some of the other guys who Diaz would tire out, like, for example, some of the guys that just carry around more muscle. For example, Anthony Rumble Johnson, who's now fighting at, middleweight. Guys that have more muscle on them like that. Muscles require oxygen. And Nick Diaz is not a very muscular guy, but I'm sure if you got him to do push-ups, he'd probably do 100 push-ups without stopping or something crazy like that. And I'm talking slow push-ups, not like, as fast as you possibly can, like full, slow push-ups. I mean, this guy's muscular endurance, just his endurance in general, is out of this world. It's somewhere in outer space. Like nobody has the kind of endurance that Diaz has. I mean, this is a guy we're talking about. Well, everybody else is doing, tons and tons of weight training and just doing a little bit of cardio. This guy's doing cardio for hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. Like, this guy runs, I think he said every morning he wakes up and he goes for a run. He didn't say exactly how far he runs, but you're probably thinking this guy does 10, 15-kilometer runs every morning before he starts his other training. And he does this every freaking day. So, I mean, eventually that might catch up to him. Hurt his knees or something. But until then, this guy is just, Nick Diaz's cardio is legendary, pretty much. So we'll see how Carlos Condit does. Since he probably does have some of the better cardio out of a lot of the guys that Diaz could face. So that will be interesting to see if Diaz is able to tire out Condit. I mean, Diaz, I think, could really tire out anybody if you ask me. But I think that Condit's going to be ready for that. And it's going to be a 5-round war. Now, the thing about 5-round fights when it comes to a champion, this will be a 5-round fight. And Diaz in a 5-round fight, that is a huge advantage for him. Because you see, the thing with Diaz is the guys who always beat Diaz when he was in the UFC before weren't guys who were able to knock him out. They weren't guys who were better strikers than him. They weren't guys that could finish him, and knock him out or submit him. Nobody's going to submit him. First off, it's not going to happen. Okay, it's just not going to happen. Guys aren't going to tire him out. That's not going to happen. How guys beat him before was in 3-round fights. Okay, super wrestlers like Sean the Steroid Shark Shirk just took him down basically the whole fight and held him there and just won a decision. And, GSP is probably, planning to do the same thing. Take him down, hold him there. You're not going to submit him. You're probably not going to pound him out because I don't think this guy's going to quit from anybody. I mean, you saw Paul Daly knock down Diaz, and Diaz got right back up. Like, face-first knockdown, right back up, and then turns around and knocks Daly out. So, Nick Diaz is one of the most exciting fighters in all of mixed martial arts, not just UFC, in all of MMA. He's one of the most exciting. And he's funny, too, because, the things he says are totally ridiculous. But, going on from that, what does Carlos Condit have, really, that could take down Diaz, that could beat Diaz? Well, kind of like Paul Daly, he could, use some good technique and speed in the first round to put it on Diaz and, try to knock him out. Is he going to be able to knock Diaz out even if he knocks him down? It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. I think that in a 5-round fight, it's a tough fight for anybody against Diaz because, what do you do against Diaz? You take the guy down and put him on his back for 5 rounds. You could get submitted by, Cesar Gracie, black belt in jiu-jitsu, one of probably the best jiu-jitsu specialists at 170 aside from Jake Shields. And who knows out of the two of them who's better? I mean, it's kind of hard to say, isn't it? You're not going to submit him. You could beat him in a decision. That's about one of the only ways you're going to do it. And you're probably not going to knock him out. So for Carlos Condit, he's going to have to go for a decision victory in a 5-round fight with Nick Diaz. Is that easy to do? No, it's not. Can he do it? Yeah, it's possible. I just don't see it happening. In this fight, I have to go with Nick Diaz. There's no question about it. He's got the superior stand-up. He proved that against BJ Penn. He's got, cardio that can tire out anybody, especially in a 5-round fight. BJ by the 3rd round was dead against Diaz. No, not even the 3rd round. The 2nd round, halfway through the 2nd round, he was ready to go to bed. He's like, I gotta have a rest, guys. That's all there is to it. I gotta slow down. I gotta stop. I can't keep this up. So he just stood there and took one of the biggest beatings we've seen in UFC history without getting knocked out. Aside from this crazy cardio, he's got pretty much the best submission skills, aside from maybe Jake Shields and who knows, in the division. Amazing boxing, amazing cardio, tough as nails. What else? What else is there to say? I mean, I guess that's pretty much it, guys. I got to pick Nick Diaz in this fight, for the interim champion. I think that Nick Diaz is going to do it. He's going to beat Carlos Condit, no matter how good Carlos is. I just don't think he's in the same class. I just don't think he has, enough cardio to be in there with Diaz for 5 rounds. And I don't think his wrestling is good enough to be able to hold him down the entire time and just keep him there. So this is Trev saying I'm picking Nick Diaz. I think the odds are 65-35 in this fight, in my opinion anyway. I'm sure Diaz will be the favorite, and I am fairly certain he's going to take this home for a victory. That's it for this one, guys. If you haven't subscribed and you've seen some of my videos, please do. I do videos for MMA all the time, as well as some other videos like some Walking Dead videos and comic stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I'll see you guys later. Peace.